Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we are going to be taking a look at a couple of the launch products for Star Wars Shatterpoint. We have already been talking a lot about the core set on this channel. And since this past Friday was official launch day, I went up to my local store, Coliseum of Comics, on East Colonial here in Orlando, and picked up some things. We're going to be looking at a couple of products over the course of this week, but I wanted to showcase a couple of smaller things that I grouped together. So we're going to be looking at 3 different things in one pack, which is pretty cool. We're going to be looking at the high ground terrain pack, so we can kind of see what comes in a terrain pack. And I didn't get both of the terrain packs because I didn't like all the rocks and boulders. I actually like this one better because it came with more of the bridges, or at least it says it comes with more of the bridges. I know that somebody on some of the forums were complaining a little bit. We'll take a look at that. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Also, the pre-ordering early. I was fortunate enough to get an early release Ahsoka Tano and a Shatterpoint foil card as well. So big thanks to Coliseum of Comics Kissimmee for hooking me up with the good pre-order bonuses. I was, I believe, the first person at my store to pre-order. So, but yeah, I had a feeling that not everybody who pre-ordered got one of these. Stores only got so many. But if you like what you see here, this is coming in the Plo Koon set. So it will be there eventually. At least you'll have an idea of how it will play ahead of time, because I will take a look at everything in here and unbox it all and put some of these minis together. If you guys are new here to the channel, I would love for you to stick around. We can talk about Star Wars Shatterpoint and lots of other Star Wars tabletop games. Also want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens. We have tokens compatible with Star Wars Legion, Star Wars X-Wing, Magic the Gathering, Keyforge, and lots more. Also, their damage tokens are pretty universal and can work in all games like Star Wars Shatterpoint. So definitely check them out. If you use code Crabbok VIP, you're going to save 15%. So definitely have a cool look at luxuryplaystyle.com. Use that code and keep it in mind for Father's Day presents. They're just around the corner, folks. With all that being said, let's go ahead and first thing I want to show you is this is a really nice Shatterpoint card, man. It's really pretty. Hopefully you're getting an idea of this. I need to get some sleeves for my unit cards. Definitely need to get sleeves. Not sure exactly which ones to get just yet. Let me know down in the comment section if you have put any sleeves on your Shatterpoint cards yet. I want some good ones that hopefully will have this showing through. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, the back is normal, however, but the front, it makes this music when you go. It goes subscribe to Crabbok, subscribe to Crabbok. Okay, anyway, that's nonsense. Also, we did a big Star Wars Shatterpoint giveaway. We announced the winner to that in the Star Wars Shatterpoint review last week. So if you haven't already, you should check out that video as well as the other Shatterpoint, Legion, X-Wing, Armada videos and all of the Star Wars and fun videos that I've got. I got lots more. I'll put some links over here towards the end of the video. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Ahsoka, and then we'll look at the high ground pack. All right, so here is the Padawan Ahsoka early release. It is in a box. It does actually have all of the stuff you'd expect, although it is not for retail. They're not supposed to be reselling these. These were supposed to be included with pre-orders up to a certain number per store. And I like stuff like this to an extent because it's not exclusive. Nobody's totally missing out. It's just early. I would love it if they were doing things like this for the convention exclusives. If you can get like an early access card, or an early access unit or something like that, that would be really, really cool. So that's big bonus points for doing something clever like this that rewards people, or at least some people. If you have to be selective about it, you found a way to reward people and give them something early without screwing anybody over, because this will be available to everyone in like 2 months or something like that. It's not that big of a deal. It's a good, comfortable medium, and I think not everybody's going to be happy, but I think it's really cool that they found a way to reward some folks. So we've got some multi-language stuff on the back. We've got a reading this first thing, and then we've got our credits page in here. So pretty cool stuff. This is all of that. Let's go ahead and move on down. We have our plastic here. We are getting one base and one miniature. So there's our base. And it'd be funny if somebody didn't clip the base out of here, since it's just one base and a sprue. I'm like, you know, yeah, and here we go. We've got she looks pretty self-explanatory. Head, front and back, torso, front and back, legs and arms. Pretty straightforward. So I like it. It's not a whole lot to worry about there. It does look like we've got some a little bit, you know, we've got pretty good detail on the head there. We've got some lines for the head tails as well. So pretty cool stuff. There we go. Yeah, you're able to get you're able to see a lot of detail in these. So I like it. Looks good. Looks good. We'll be putting this together towards the end of the video. So if you want to see how this looks and how the high ground terrain pack look, stay tuned to the end. Let's take a look at these cards. All right, so I was surprised to see that there were a whole lot of different cards. Well, not different, but slightly different, because they're in different language. Different language cards for Padawan Ahsoka Tano. There's multiple sets for multiple different languages in here, and it's going to be weird when it gets to the stance cards, because we've got a whole lot of cards for somebody that doesn't need that many. Like, my first reaction was like, okay, you have your Shatterpoint unit card, right? You're going to activate her. Oh, you pulled that card. Okay, cool. You got one of those for every language. The problem is, oh, you don't need, there's no words on here. You don't need these for every language. What do I need, like, all of these Padawan activation cards? That's bizarre. Maybe I can give some away for alternate. Like, that's a cool thing. Maybe I'll do that on Discord, and I'll do some in Patreon as well. So if you're a patron and you want to win one of these early access Ahsokas, you could just use this Ahsoka for now with your, you know, use your older Ahsoka from the core set, and then just use this card and then this. Now there's only 4, or no, there's 5 of these, so I can give some of these away. I don't need the multi-languages one. I'm just going to keep the English one for my games, and then I'll eventually have extras of these too, because I'll probably pick up the Plo Koon set when that comes out. So it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, so here's what we got. She costs 4 points for your squad points. She's not giving you any force because she's not a primary. She's a secondary unit, and she's Padawan Ahsoka Tano. You cannot use her with full-blown Ahsoka Tano. So she's got Racia, and of course this is going to be one of the start. All right, so as soon as you pull her card at the start of her activation, choose an allied Galactic Republic primary unit or an allied Jedi primary unit. One character in the chosen unit may dash. So she is going to obviously be working very, very well with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker out of the launch wave, and potentially, you know, she could potentially have some other cool stuff. Now, I can't imagine too many Jedi in this era that aren't Galactic Republic, but maybe that'd be pretty cool. Well, maybe some certain characters that aren't era locked. Like, we know that they're doing some weird stuff with the that Anakin and Vader that's coming, or the Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi set, which will be an interesting thing. Which those are, you know, although Vader's not a Jedi and he's not going to be Galactic Republic either, so I don't know how all that would work. But it'd be really cool to have Ahsoka Tano and Vader together. Anyway, but giving your Jedi an extra dash, an extra move is really cool, and I like that. She is fearless. It's going to be an active ability, costs a force. She can jump, and she can use it 2 times instead of just 1. That is going to be useful, to get out of. I mean, normally you can only use an action once, all right? I don't think you'll do it a whole lot of times, because it doesn't look like she's getting any free active abilities from her combat tree. So you'd have to be really tied up and need to. I don't see this one being used a whole lot. Maybe once, but not necessarily twice. But Asajj Ventress has the same thing. You've also got Deflect here, which is going to be, it's a good one. It's that good defense. You want to shoot me, that's fine, but you're probably going to have at least 1 miss, and then it's going to mean you're going to suffer 2 damage in return. Very cool. Doesn't cost any force to do that. as long as, of course, she's not injured or wounded or anything like that. And getting ahead of yourself again snips. After an Allied Galactic Republic supporting unit within 3 makes a combat action. So, like, basically right now, it's going to be clone troopers, right? So after basically a clone trooper or another Galactic Republic supporting unit within 3 makes a combat action, so she's got to be kind of close to them. This unit may use this ability. One character in this unit may jump, and they may make a 5 dice melee attack targeting one of the same enemy characters within range and line of sight. I feel like this one is going to be tough to really pull off, because you got to be close to your clones. They've got to be attacking somebody, and you got to be close enough to potentially attack them too. Now, at least they don't have to be shooting. They could do a melee if you're all really close together. But this is a good ability if you can line it up. This is a way for her to get a free attack on somebody else's activation. And if we want to look at her tree, by the way, there's nothing on the back of that, right? She's a support, so she doesn't have the 2 stances. She's just got Jarkai. And she's also a Force user, Galactic Republic, Jedi, and Padawan. And so, but yes, Jarkai, I like that there's a different distinction between Force user and Jedi. That's really cool. I like that. All right. All right, so she can heal and then reposition. So she's got some really great, her first 2 abilities are really good on the bottom. She can dash. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's push. So she's got a push on her first as well. So that's going to be really good. Now she doesn't have a ranged attack, so she's got to be a melee. So that is a potential problem. One thing that's great is for her, a single expertise for either her lightsabers or for her defense is 2 blocks, 2 successes. So if she gets, well, but then she has to wait to get to up to 4. But if she gets 4, she gets 2 crits. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I like the starters here. Heal and then a full reposition, a full move. Then bleed, no damage there. So 1, 2, 3. You'd have to get 4 hits to get 5 damage. Or you could do 2 more heals, which is cool. Then you stop there though. So like, and this is so weird because you go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it, and you stop. Or you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do more damage, and then another push. She can push 3 times, which is really good if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Now she can also make a 5 die attack after somebody else attacks. So you can have somebody attack who's not necessarily strong at pushing and have her come in and be like, I'll jump in and then push them back for you. You know, and of course that would require that she gets all of those hits through. So you kind of want somebody who can maybe make you exposed so you can't, defend with your defense expertise. So you're more likely to get those hits through. But that's basically how she looks. I don't know why they decided to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activation cards for her, but I do understand why they put all the language things in here so they could just have one pack to go to the same for every country. The cool thing about this is we get extra cards, and since not everybody was able to get one of these, I have some of these out that I can share. Pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look at the high ground terrain pack, and then I'll put all the minis together. All right, so our high ground terrain pack, I pulled this the plastic wrap off of it. Is also in multi-languages. However, I don't think it's going to matter as much because I think this is just terrain. I don't think we're getting any rules or any cards or anything like that in here, but I mean, maybe we'll see. The thing that I want to draw your attention to from what I've already seen of some early complaints, it says that you're getting 4 of these, and apparently this isn't necessarily accurate, and this was kind of the same I noticed with the core set that I didn't draw much attention to. Not every bridge is meant to have 4 legs on it. A lot of the bridges are meant to have 0 legs on it so they can connect certain terrain pieces more easily, especially on something like this where you're going to be connecting things on like the layer 2 height. So you're not always going to have bridges that are like, bridges are like 3 inches tall or 4 inches tall or something like that. You're not always going to have bridges that are like 8 inches tall or, that's at that second layer. Whereas a lot of this is the high ground pack. This has higher terrain. You have 2 of these setups, which are going to pair nicely with these 2 of these that came in the core set. And then this larger piece here goes up to the first height, the second height, and then even has some stuff at the top height. So this is a really nice way for you to get multi-layer stuff, and that's why I liked this one as opposed to the take cover pack, which didn't really add as much to the game for me. So I thought that this was the pack to get for sure. You're also getting another little, you're getting like a convor owl here. You don't get the gonk droid in this pack, which I was able to live with. I'm not a gonk droid fan, although I don't have anything against gonk droids. I'm just very gonk neutral. And then you're getting some crates, which are just, they're there. They just exist. All right, so let's go ahead and open this pack. And it's a lot of stuff. So basically what I've been told is that you only get 8 legs instead of really you should have 16 legs in there, which I'm personally okay with. I didn't want that many legs anyway, but I do think that they should have maybe just put 1 set of legs on each one of those and shown it as an X4 or something like that. This way that would have made more sense. Like right here, they show somebody, using, hey, I got legs on this and then that, but they're not using they're only using 2 of the bridges. They could also then maybe try to bridge those 2 or something, without having legs, or I don't know. I don't know what their thought was, but we got a lot here. So this is, I think a lot of this is going to be the same as we saw in the core set. These are the legs. You've got front and back. So this is just going to be 4 legs, and this is going to be 4 legs. So I think this is all of the legs that we're going to get. We've got some of the pieces to build these towers right here. Another piece for that. All right, so these are duplicates of each other. These are walkway gantry pieces. You have 2 ends for the gantries. You can put these together in a variety of different ways. You can put them together just as a twofer, or you can put as many middle pieces as you want. They all have one side that kind of is like the male side and the female side, so to speak. So you've got one side that has the protruding part and one side that has the the empty spot. So they only fit together one way. So you will then go ahead and put as many as you want in here. A lot of people are kind of changing them up a little bit. So like I'll probably do 1 short one, maybe 2 medium ones, and then 1 really long one. And the long one will be the one that I put like 2 legs on or something like that. I'll figure that out. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it, but I've already got some. I like having I'll look at the bridges that I already have. And figure out what's going to give me the greatest flexibility with like putting this type of stuff together, because you think you're going to want some longer bridges. Now this is our new piece. This one's pretty cool. This is that big new tower right here, and I gotta say, I've been digging the terrain that comes with Shatterpoint because of the way Shatterpoint's rules are written. It's really helpful. Is this going like that? I don't know how that. Maybe this one isn't part of that. I don't know. I've been digging the rules that come with Shatterpoint though, because the rules, the way they work with terrain, is pretty cool. And this is good terrain to really make the game more functional. It does mean that certain types of terrain that I used for Legion are slightly less effective. And what I mean by that is I have to put certain things together. Or I can't put certain characters. You're not supposed to be able to do overhang, which I know some people have complained about a little bit, because some of these bases, like the top part of this base, you can't actually fit a character on unless there's a gantry there. So that's why they give you gantries though, so you put those together. Although you could easily house rule that and say, no, of course I gotta have 1 character stand up on there. I think the overhang stuff, I can understand why, but it's going to be interesting. This is some of the smaller areas here that are going to be part of that big top tower. We've got our little guy there. So lots of pieces. We got a lot of our ladders and a lot more of these crates. I definitely recommend gluing the ladders to the sides of the buildings. Maybe after you painted them though, because then this way I can spray paint the ladders all gray, and then I can, I don't have to worry about trying to paint underneath. Like if I put the ladder here on this guy, then I don't have to worry about like trying to get a little brush in between the rungs and the ladder and stuff like that. I like that idea. And this is going to be the top part to our really tall building, and some more pieces to the tall building here. This one looks like, I was going to say it's bullet holes, but I think those are for the antennas and the TV console and all that fancy stuff. All right, so this is all the sprues. I'm going to put it all together so we can take a look at how it all looks. All right, so I've got everything set up and put together. This is a really nice terrain set. It's got a lot of versatility and lots of high ground places that do allow you to have multiple levels of, you can have minis on the ground, on the first level, and on the second level. And this is kind of, this is pretty cool. It's going to interact really, really well with the core set terrain also. So first off, also let's take a look at Ahsoka here. She is assembled and put together and looking pretty nice. She's not a whole lot to say about her. She's just part of a bigger pack that's going to be coming eventually, but we'll get her in on some of the battles. As far as the high ground terrain pack, there's something I want to draw your attention to. You can set up stuff however you want with these gantries, and I went ahead and I made one of them really, really short. Oh goodness gracious, as I'm about to break stuff right here. I made one really, really short with just the two. I made one with just an extra one in the middle. I put two of my legs on that one. I made kind of a longer one here. I put two of my legs on that one, and then I made another longer one. I let that one just be, for free floating. So I've got two free floating, two with legs. You have the option of sticking these to any of these little joint sections here. And you could do it if you wanted just one set of legs on each one. I don't recommend that because then it would look really awkward if you had like a floating one up here with legs like hanging down that weren't touching the ground. So you don't really want them all to have legs. It would be a kind of a bad thing if they all had legs, because then you wouldn't be able to really get any of the top level stuff. And again, you can even with the two, you can have two of these things right here, and you can have a top level kind of going over another section here. But there's something else about the gantries that I want to draw your attention to, is that if you're going off of the same, and I believe they kind of reused some of the same instructions, you're gonna see it on the box here, right there. These little side rail pieces. You're not gonna see these in this pack. So they show them on the box. They are not in the pack. And to show you again what I'm talking about, is this is one from the core set that I'd already painted up a little bit, and you put them on right there. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't really like these things. One of the reasons that I don't like them is because sometimes you want your gantries to connect to other gantries, like so, and then they slide in here just perfectly because the gantries have gantry connection points on the side. If you use these, then you can no longer connect, because now all of a sudden I don't have room to, or have a lot, or maybe I just use them a little bit. Like this is a bigger one, then I still have some room to connect on here, but I don't have as much versatility because I can't connect on the side, like so. So I don't really like those pieces because they interfere with functionality, even though they are decorative. So keep that in mind, that they say that they should come in this pack. There's a picture of it coming in this pack. All right, there's a picture of it on the box. There's a picture of it here, as a matter of fact, as well. So this part is like totally wrong. You don't get 4 sets of 4 legs. You don't get any little light or little markers or whatever. And even though it doesn't have that, I didn't want those anyway, so I am satisfied with it, but it is improperly marked. The other thing about this also is you're getting 2 more of these pieces. These are the 2 height sections. These are the same ones that you're going to get in the core set, so you can certainly use them to connect your higher pieces and, up here, or on your lower levels, or both. We have that. I already put some of the ladders on the side. We got plenty of extra ladders in here. But these also connect to the new piece. Now this one is not available in the core set. This one is a multi-level piece. It has a ladder already built onto here, so people can go up on this side, then they can go up again up here. You got a pretty cool looking door right here. We've got some extra paneling on the sides, and then you get this catwalk up here. Now, the catwalk is, I guess, just barely big enough for a 1 miniature, but I saw some people were trying to put B1s, which have the larger bases, and those won't fit up there, but that's what you use gantries for. Now, the cool thing about this piece up here is that you have lots of flexibility on where you want to connect your gantry piece on this side, but you also have the ability to put it on this side. So you can have this one be a hub to connect it to other pieces. So we could go right there. Come on, I'm trying to do this with one handed while I'm steadying it with the other hand. There we go. And then we could go here as well with a larger piece, and boom, 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 like something like that. I can't get it all on screen because then again, this is gonna, when you combine this with the core set terrain, it's gonna be a lot of terrain, a lot of walkways, a lot of gantries, a lot of functional gameplay pieces, and now of course you got plenty of room to move characters around on multiple levels, and then also have stuff underneath. And of course, that's where you want your standard ones to go. Another thing that I thought about that I haven't done before is you can take these ladders, you can even put those on some of these legs here, because that's a big part of the standalone gantries that I've noticed is, it's hard to get up on those. You got to have, and so it'd be nice to have maybe a ladder or two on some of those. Or it could leave a couple of ladders freestanding. I kind of don't like, in my games, I like to glue the ladders on, because otherwise, like if you just kind of lean them up there, that's fine. But then over time they start doing this, and then it becomes awkward if there's like a character that's like standing there. I'm like, well, am I getting cover from the ladder because you're shooting this way? And you're like, oh, come on. The ladder wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be straight, but then you can't move terrain around in the middle of a, in the middle of a game. So I just like to glue them on so they're going straight up and down, and so that you don't have to worry about ladders giving cover. That's just some of my thoughts and random musings on terrain. Last other detail is on this door for the big bottom piece. You had the option of having this cover here on there, or putting like this little Jabba's palace style, like mechanized eyeball in there, and having it what a blinky, or whatever, the little guy that comes on and asks who's coming in. I didn't want that because I figured that would get broken off eventually. And then somebody would be like, well, that is in between, like the eyeball extends farther out, so is that giving me cover or whatever? I'm like, I like it being cleaner and simpler. And no, I don't think this would ever give anybody cover. So, yeah. So there's that other little piece. And also the convor here on the rock, which was just a single piece, so I didn't have to assemble that at all. So just clipped it off. That's it. All right, guys, so that has been a look at the Padawan Ahsoka Tano and the High Ground Terrain Pack, as well as our extra little holographic Shatterpoint cards. So we're going to be doing more unboxings and looks at some other stuff available for the Star Wars Shatterpoint launch. So definitely stay tuned for that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons as well. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. The spice must flow, and cowabunga.